Okay, so I haven't done an update on my bamboo hedge in a while. The idea here is that this bamboo hedge will block the second story windows of my neighbor's house. However, as you can see, we're not quite there yet. What I want to do in this video is show you the new growth as it comes out of the ground and as it grows up in 6 or 7 weeks to its full height. The 3 middle plants with the yellow stems, those are Robustas. The 2 on the edges are Scabridas. Okay, so as you can see, we got some new shoots coming up here in the Scabrida. I also have some new growth coming out here in the Robustas. You can see one right here. Here are 3 nice examples here. Boom, boom, and boom. Now this is the Scabrida on the right. I think the culms just come out a little bit later than the Robusta culms. Here are a couple. There's one just starting. Here's another one. It is March 20th. This is the Scabrida on the left. There's a few more over here. So here's the Robusta in the middle. As you can see, there are a lot more culms starting to come up. So lastly, here's the Scabrida on the end. So here's a culm here, here's another one here, another one here, another one here. They're just starting to show up. This is March 25th. This is the Scabrida on the left, and here are some of the culms. They're getting bigger and bigger, and they're getting to be a lot more. Here's another one here, here, here. 1, 2, 3 there. This one here is over a foot tall now. Okay, so last and actually sort of least, we have the Scabrida on the right. Still kind of going slow. We do have some new culms coming up though. Here, here. Interestingly enough, this particular plant does have a couple nice culms right in the middle of the plant. You can see one directly in the middle of the screen here. It's nice and tall. Today is March 29th, and as you can see, there's a ton of new growth on the Scabrida on the left. Look at all the new culms coming up. Lots of new culms coming up, all looking nice and strong and healthy. This is another one of the Robustas in the middle. That one right there in the center of the screen is probably about 18 inches now, right there. Here's the next Robusta. Lots of new growth coming up on this one as well. Lastly, we have this Scabrida plant on the right, which does have some new culms, but they seem to be coming in a lot slower than the rest of the plants for some reason. This is April 5th, and here's the Scabrida plant on the left. We're seeing some significant new growth. Here's one of the Robustas in the middle. Lots of new growth. I always say the same things, but sorry. And lastly, we have the troublesome Scabrida, the slow-growing Scabrida on the right. One thing that may be hampering the growth of all these plants right now is that it's just been cold and rainy lately, not sunny and warm. There's the culm in the center of the plant right there. It's got to be over 2 feet tall now. Here, let me see if I can point it out to you. Right there. Today is April 10th, and we've had a bunch of sunny days in a row, and so we're seeing some significant growth. Look at this one here. It's amazing how tall that is already. Here are a couple of the Scabridas in the middle. You can see all the new growth and how tall it's getting underneath. These guys here are up to my knees. So now we have the Scabrida on the end, and a lot of these are getting a lot taller. It's great, like this guy here. Today is April 15th, and I gotta stand back a little bit so you can see the culms, because if I use the zoom lens like I usually do, they're too tall. This one here is up to my waist almost. Here is the middle Robusta plant. Mid-thigh, I would say. You can see this one here is almost up to my waist. You can also see that there are a lot of little ones coming up, like these guys here. Last, we have the Scabrida on the right. As usual, it's a little bit less than the others. Here's a nice culm and a bunch of nice ones coming up here, and some new ones coming out too. Okay, this is April 21st, and here is the Scabrida on the left. So it looks like in about 5 days, this has grown about a foot, because down before it was down around my waist. Now it's way up here. And a whole bucket load of little ones coming out of the ground now. Okay, here are a couple of the Robusta plants in the middle. Let's give you a little scale here. You can see this guy, mid-torso on me. This one too. Here's a little bit of a close-up. And then we have the Scabrida on the right, the slow-growing plant. A lot of these culms are getting much taller though. Here's a nice one. Here's another nice one. And then a lot of smaller ones as well. Today is April 28th, and I just want to show you how this Scabrida looks over here on the right. This culm is mid-face there, almost forehead. Some other tall ones here. Here's one of the Robusta plants in the middle. You can see this culm here. I think it might even be taller than me. So this is something you got to look out for. These break easily. Look what I just did to one of my best culms. I've done it. I've heard you can eat these. Not bad. Okay, lastly we have this Scabrida over here on the right. Some bees buzzing around my face. Lots of nice culms on this one. They're just a little skinnier than the other plants. Hopefully I don't break one of these as well. Here's a nice tall one right here. See? Like I said, I find this very interesting, but one of my tallest culms is on this Scabrida plant that's barely been growing. Look at that thing right there. It's got to be at least 6-7 feet tall, maybe even taller. Today is May 4th. Yesterday was my birthday. I'm 47 years old. Happy birthday to me yesterday. And look at these culms now. All the way up to there. That's incredible. There's a bunch that are getting real tall. There's one here, but there's a lot of low ones. A lot of them that are just recently coming out still. This plant is going crazy. Here are a couple of the Robusta plants in the middle. Here's a culm right here. You can barely get to the top of it. Look at this one. I can't even quite reach the top. And then, of course, today's video would not be complete without an update of the Scabrida plant on the right. Oh my gosh, we have a mole. Oh, hallelujah. Anyway, look at this culm right here. It's got to be 10, 11 feet tall now. If you can see the top of that one waving around up there. That's the May 4th update. Okay, this is May 12th. And so I got the camera way back today so you can see how much this stuff has really grown. This here's the Scabrida, and I cannot even reach the top of these anymore. There's a whole bunch of them that are really tall. Here. A whole bunch of my best culms broke off. It got really windy the other day, and so I lost a ton of my bamboo. One thing I'm not sure of is if the broken culms will come back or not. This is a Robusta plant here in the middle. Look at this one here, way up there. None of the culms on the Robusta plants have surpassed the tallest old ones yet. Here's a new one here. Oh, this is a broken one, another broken one. So lastly, we have this Scabrida over here on the right. It's getting really tall. There's a ton of nice tall culms. There's one here. My biggest disappointment is that a lot of them have broken off. We still have new ones coming out of the ground. In fact, look at that. There's a brand new one coming out of the ground right there. Oh, hey, Calvin. What's up? Calvin is probably one of the reasons some of these bamboo culms are breaking, because he loves to chew on the bamboo.
Calvin, stop it. Get out of there. You're chewing on the hose now.
Today is May 19th, and this is the Scabrida on the left. And the culms on this plant have now officially surpassed most of the old culms on this plant. Okay, even with all the broken culms from the windy days, the Robusta in the middle is doing very well. Here's one that's almost surpassed the tallest one. I started this video on, I think, March 15th, so it's actually taken longer than I thought for these to grow to their full height. I know I did an awful lot of complaining about this Scabrida plant all throughout this video, but it's actually doing very well. Lots of nice new culms that are really tall, and very few of these have broken. Okay, today is May 29th, and as you can see, the culms on this Scabrida over here on the left are all taller, or the new ones are mostly all taller than the old growth. So these two Scabridas on the ends have really grown well, and the new growth has outgrown the old growth. All these thin ones with no leaves on them are the new culms, and there's a ton of them. Now, while I was initially more disappointed with the Scabridas on the ends because of their slow growth, now I'm getting a little bit disappointed with the Robustas in the middle, because even though they're growing tall, a lot of the Robusta culms broke off in the wind. So we don't have very many new culms that are taller than the old culms, which is what I want in order to block my neighbor's house. We have this one here, which is one tall one. but it's still not quite as tall as the tallest old one. Here's a broken one. It broke off and then continued up. So it's still growing. The ones that have broke completely off don't seem to be regrowing like this one. Okay, here's the Scabrida on the right. This is the one I've been most disappointed in throughout this process, but now that it's, 2 months in, I'm really pleased with this plant. A lot of the new culms are taller than the old culms already. Look at this one here in the middle. It's getting almost as tall as some of the Robusta culms. Okay, it is somewhat fitting that I would be standing out in the rain for this last update to this video. It is June 8th, and these plants have stopped growing vertically. Now they're kind of leafing out on the ends, as you can see the leaves coming out on the ends here. So instead of growing up, the leaves are starting to come out. So I'm done with this video because what I wanted to show you is how small they started and how fast they grew. It actually almost took 3 months to get to full height, and I didn't think it would take that long. I'm a little bit disappointed in these Robustas in the middle because the plants didn't actually get any taller. All the new culms only came up to the level of the old culms, and a lot of them are quite a bit shorter. So I'm kind of disappointed that we're not seeing any new height on the Robustas. But the two Scabridas on the end grew a lot taller. Look, they're 2 to 3 feet taller than they were before, and that's the same with both plants on the end. And I find that a little bit ironic because I was complaining about the Scabridas throughout this video. So here's the Scabrida plant on the left, and as you can see, we got 2 to 3 new feet of growth on this plant. Lots of new culms everywhere, nice and thick and beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted to see from the whole hedge, taller plants. Here's the Scabrida on the right that I complained about throughout this entire video. And we have some beautiful culms on this plant. Look at this one here. Look at that beauty. Nice and tall and beautiful. And we have a whole bunch of tall, beautiful culms on this plant. So, plant, I'm sorry I complained about you throughout this video. Okay, so here's what the whole hedge looks like after almost 3 months of video. I thought it would be a little bit taller than it is, but that's okay. It's much thicker and much stronger than it was 3 months ago, and you got to see how the growth started here and went all the way to the top. This is not to say that there won't be some taller culms later in the summer, because in the back of the grove where there's not much sun, there's a lot of new growth back there. There's probably 20, 30 culms back there that are between this height and about this height. And they're nice and thick ones. So those could grow taller than these plants by the end of the summer. Don't worry though, I will do another video update at some point. I do plan on thinning these out later this summer and making them look a little bit prettier, so stay tuned for that video. Okay, thank you for watching my video today. I hope that you all are able to find something positive during this COVID-19 shutdown that you can do with your time. I am finding that I've been given this great gift. It's called time. I have more of it now than I've had in all my 47 years. And it's been a great time to reconnect with nature, reconnect with my kids, and just find out who I am again. So I hope you're all staying safe out there, and I hope you can find some encouragement in the middle of all the evil and uncertainty that's going on out there. Now, one other favor I'd like to ask is that my son just made a Lego review video, and if you could check it out and give him a comment and a thumbs up, that would be really great. We would both appreciate it very much. I know a lot of you probably don't care about Lego, but we would both appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a great day.